Hey guys, today we're going to be going through the work of a master. So this is a blog written by Neil Patel. He is an SEO specialist and he writes some amazing content. His tools are very useful, but today we are going to be focusing on the way that he has structured and written his blogs so that you can see some of the stuff that I have taught you in action. Let's begin. Okay, so first of all, right at the top, we have the title of the blog, SEO, Website Design Improves Site Structure. Okay. Now we see that this is in bold. This puts into the reader's mind that bold is important. Immediately we go across and we see his sidebar. So we know there's important information in the sidebar. He highlights more traffic. This is a call to action to use his SEO analyzer, which is exceptionally useful. And I use it a lot. Okay, so we now know that stuff in the sidebar is useful. So let's analyze that first of all. So you've got a table of contents. This is unique to this blog. So these are all anchor links which will take you to different parts of the blog. Really useful. You have a keyword research tool. Very useful. You can use Google Trends, things like that. But his keyword research tools are very useful as well. You have a bit of information about his company, a bit of information about the clients. So here is who we are. Here are the people we serve. So these are all big names, very useful. Then we see the awards that they've got. Not necessarily so useful when it comes down to an SEO specialist and people who do SEO, because no one knows about any of the SEO awards that are out there really. But then underneath all of that, he's got an introduction to who he is as a person, guides which go to different areas of the site. You've got tools, like all of the tools which are useful, keeping everything helpful, as well as giving information on who the people are who run the blog. Okay, then underneath you've got some case studies, and underneath it you've got, again, do you want more traffic? And that is pretty much the end of the sidebar, which is going to follow us now throughout the page. That is a good setup, all right, because that's what you're getting right at the beginning. Okay, so if we look at the design and structure, it starts with a hook, with a question. Did you know that only 1/3 of websites pass Core Web Vitals and fewer than 6% of pages will rank in the top 10 results within a year of publication? That's a question. It's asking us something, it's telling us something, and it's making us involved in it. This is clever psychology. This is why he's very good at what he's doing, because it gives us a link here to RFs, and that link is going to basically support what he's saying in his blog. This is very short. Very short. Before, he has an image. The image comes underneath. Very relaxed. Okay, so you've got an immediate break, so it's not overwhelming to people. They can see a pretty picture, and then underneath a little bit more information. He follows that with a video. This is good because this will increase the views on his channel, get him more views, get him more people who are interested in his content. And it is very good to use yourself in your videos when you're talking about topics so that your audience gets to know you. I like doing it, and I highly recommend that you do it as well. So if you've got your own YouTube channel, like I've got my own YouTube channel, when I've got a blog out there, I like to put a video in of me talking about certain things, where I go through things and basically say, hey, this is me explaining what I'm actually talking about, either in the blog or I have the video, and the video can also link back to the blog as well, which is really useful. Anyway, so you got the key takeaways and information. He's basically dotting this down so that you know what you're kind of learning along the way. And then, bam, we have a call to action. See how my agency can drive more traffic to your website. And then you can book a call with Neil Patel. Hey, I just met you and this is crazy, but here's my blog, call me maybe. So you've got a call to action. Hey, maybe if you want to interact with me, you can do that. It's really good to have this kind of thing, because you've been told a little bit of information which is useful. You come down and you've got an introduction to the person because you've seen them in the video. It's like, hey, let's connect. So that is like that is reaching out to people. So I know it's like it's saying to the person who's reading the blog, hey, you can reach out to me. rather than him having to reach out to you, if that makes sense. So that is very, very useful. He's reached out to you already by his excellent SEO, but let's put that to one side. So we've got table of contents, all of the different things we can go through here, anchor links, all of the other things, FAQs, conclusion. This is all set up so that you can go to where you need to be if you already know some stuff. It saves you time, and these will take you everywhere on the page. All right. So he talks a little bit about what these things are, just gives simple sentences, very, very simple sentences. He does use some complex terminology, but he expects you to know a little bit of stuff when you're reading his stuff. So it's really, really good. And he says, well, here are all of the things you need to be focusing on, and this is what we should be incorporating into our websites. Okay, so got a little bit more information. What have we got here? Keyword research tool. Very, very useful. You'll probably notice that you've got all of these share buttons to the side as well. That's another good thing. People can share his content. He makes it so that it's easy for you to get your stuff out there. So it goes into why is your website design important for SEO? Remember, I said in one of my previous course sections that the question answer format is really, really good. So why is your website design important for SEO is a question. Then you've got a beautiful web design is useless if it doesn't rank on Google. This happens when we don't build websites with SEO in mind. When you incorporate SEO best practices during website development, you get the following benefits. So it gives you the question and it gives you the answer, which is really, really good. Notice he mentions UX. I talk about UX. But anyway, he at least explains what it is when he's talking about it, which is better than a lot of people out there. So you've got all of these different links that are appearing, which link to different content. It's really, really good. Then he's a little bit more confident. So he's giving more information before he's got a break. Early on, he's focusing on getting information out as quick as he can to people who've got a lower attention span. And then he starts adding more and more information before he has a break. But then it's another video of him where he can communicate with you. Continues to go on. He's got some information here. He's got an example from this website and he links to them. Very, very useful. So when you've got this kind of, when you're setting up a structure like this, you are saying that you're willing to take on board other ideas outside from outside, so you're utilizing statistics and information from other people. It's really, really valuable to do this because it says, okay, I am someone who researches as well as just sits there talking like a guru and saying, oh, I've never researched or studied any of this stuff, but you've got to believe me. So it's really, really good to reference. See, I'm secretly doing it now. I'm using a psychological technique to get inside your mind and say that I look up stuff before I actually talk, which I do. It's very important. If you're going to teach anyone anything, you've got to know the subject. So it basically instills in the reader, hey, this is somebody who keeps on the top of everything. He's on the cutting edge and keeps everything state of the art. Bam. He's always researching, always learning, and you'll find that if you read his blogs. So we just go through a little bit more. We have informations. Notice that he's not breaking things up as much as he used to. Blog continues, blog continues, blog continues. And if you notice, he's no longer got so many calls to action. He's just giving information now. All right, you've got the call to action which remains in the side. He knows that that's already there for you when you need it, so he doesn't need to worry that much about it. He's not trying to sell to you now. He knows that you're reading and that if you're interested, you're going to do something, because otherwise you'd have done it already. So he's not constantly plaguing people. He's got a little bit more information, a little bit more connection with people, just for those people who have been reading for a while, so that they can connect with him again. Really, really good. Okay, so he's just writing information. Notice the breakups are big. You've got big spaces before breakups now, because he's just information dumping at this point. And when he does use these, they're all related. Now what he's doing Sorry, I skipped over this. What he's doing here is very clever. Uber suggests ranking tool. That's one of his, and he's saying how you can use his stuff to help your business, and help your website rank. So when we get to this kind of information, he shows you stuff from his own tool as well. So you think, oh well, I can use his tools as well. I know that he values the work of these other companies, values these other things, but he's also using his own tools, and here's how he's using his tools to do what he's doing. So it's really, really cleverly set up. Then he's got his FAQs. This is useful for the FAQ schema. So appearing above the normal search results. So for example, what is the question answer? What is a linear website structure? A linear website structure displays content blah blah blah. Which is the best type of website structure for SEO? When it comes to SEO, the best website structure is hierarchical. It's the setup which he's got here that allows him to rank for these kind of things when people are looking in Google. So he's going to be able to shoot above number one when he can't beat number one in certain areas. So depending on the search terms that are coming out there, he is using the question and answer in order to help his blog to rank, which is really, really good, because even if he's not on page one, if he's up on the FAQ section, he's beating the people on number one. He's such a clever bloke. Honestly, this guy is a genius. Absolutely crazy, extremely gangly, and very awkward, just like me. That's why I love him so much, you know. But after all of the information, he gives a conclusion just to finish off the blog. And at the end, you've got an author box with a little bit more information than his initial author box. Now, I didn't go into that at the beginning, but he's got an author box at the beginning who basically says, he's like, I hope you enjoy reading the blog post. If you want my team to do your marketing for you, click here. That is a great initial sales pitch. Doesn't tell a lot about him, but it's a call to action for people. At the end, it's like, here is who the author is, a little bit more information. And after you've read a blog that is this good, you're going to be thinking, darn, I really like him. I want him to do the marketing for my company. So, Neil Patel, excellent blog writer. If you want to become really, really good at SEO, he is the man to check out. It can get a little bit, because he writes so much in his blogs, it can feel a bit overwhelming. But once you've read a couple of them, you just kind of sync up with it. Anyway, this is kind of how a master puts a blog together. Very, very well set up. He's utilizing images only when he really needs to. At the start, the structure is beautifully set up, to conclude anyway. So he's breaking up the text so that it's not hard for people to break down. He's summarizing things. He's offering a handshake to people. Very, very personable way of writing a blog. Very, very friendly. Here is who I am. Here's what I do. I'm going to help you with all of this stuff. And then he'll break it down and make it gradually more complicated. And because he's breaking it down in the way that he's doing it, it's not going to be massively overwhelming for people who are just starting out in the way that, say, for example, a lot of people's blogs will be, because a lot of people will dive in. For example, I mentioned UX earlier. A lot of people would just say UX, but he says UX brackets user experience. It says this is what the term means. He's laying it out for people, keeping it simple, you know, rather than drowning people with insane words that they're not going to understand. Anyway, we've now had a little look about it, look at the sort of layout. We have an understanding that our sidebar can be set out like this. Having something in your sidebar which is going to immediately have anchors on your page. So for example, like there, I just clicked on the anchor link. Having it set specifically so that appears on a very specific blog post is a complicated procedure to get that done. It's a little bit more complicated than just setting up a basic thing. So having something like this is really, really cool, but you don't necessarily need it to be good. But it's always good to have like your calls to action. I tend to have adverts in my sidebar occasionally as well for like affiliate links, things like that. And I do get occasional sales from it. Like if I'm talking about, say, social media marketing on something like that, at least when I was doing this sort of stuff when I started like 7 years ago or whatever with my own company, and I was doing that, I got quite a few people who were going on my blogs and they were purchasing Content Studio to use for those kind of things. So it can be good to have, like, if you're an affiliate marketer, it can be good to have your affiliate links in the sidebar. Having your links to other blogs in your area can be good to have in your sidebar as well. And you don't have, it's like if you're using like a web designing tool like Divi, you can pretty much ignore the classic sidebars and just set up a specific sidebar for your actual page in terms of the way that you set things up. So depending on like the themes that you're using, if you're using WordPress or like a different structure to create your website, like content management system, Wix, for example, web designing tool like Wix, you can pretty much set things up your own way. I don't recommend using Wix. I don't think anyone in their right mind who takes themselves seriously would use it. I would say it's for photographers and artists mainly. But I don't like Wix at all for SEO. I recommend WordPress over pretty much everything else because you're not going to want to pay for Magento. So, I don't want to pay for Magento. And if I've got the money to pay for Magento and I don't want to pay for Magento, you don't want to pay for Magento either. Although it is very, very good. WordPress is pretty much solid, and you can get this set up with a number of different plugins, but that's stuff that you don't need to worry about at this point. This is just an introduction to what it is to make an exceptionally good blog. Anyway, I haven't really gone into the details on the blog. I'd be happy to go through his blogs and information and give my perspective on these different things, but we would be here till the cows come home. And to be honest, the cows are pretty far away right now, and I've got a lot more to get done, and you've got a lot to get done. So thank you for joining me. I hope this has been helpful, and have a lovely day. Take care, and good luck with your blogging. Bye.